The 11th day. It's Christmas Eve. Almost made it to the end. Tonight, we won't disappoint. I have two whiskeys from the state of New York that never seem to disappoint and always seem to surprise. Stay tuned. Welcome to the 11th day of whiskey. I'm Cyncere, and tonight we're going to be sampling two bottles that'll make you want to smack your mama. One of these whiskeys may even be a contender for my top 5 tasted of 2023. To top it all off, it's a finished whiskey. Get your train ticket, hold on tight. We hopping on the Amtrak and going up to New York. But before we leave the station, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, stay up to date on all things Cynple whiskey. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. Let's dive into all things Widow Jane. When I first tried Widow Jane 10-year, something about it just didn't quite impress me. I don't know if it was because of the hype. I let the hype outpace realistic expectations as well as what I was actually tasting. But something about it just didn't sit well with me when I first had it. Widow Jane Decadence, on the other hand, had the exact opposite effect. I wasn't going into that one with high hopes or high expectations, but the very first sip of that had me hooked. And over time, they've both grown on me to where I'll always have some on hand. The 10-year is one of my favorites to pair with a cigar. The Decadence, on the other hand, is just an overall good vibes whiskey. It's not one that I feel like it can be a special occasion one if you want it to be, but it's just one that when you're in a good mood and want to smile a little bit more, sip after sip, this one gets you going. Decadence is not a sponsor of mine. Now, if you're out there, Widow Jane, listening, feel free to shoot your boy a couple of backup bottles. I'll sing your praises all day with or without. Do you have a whiskey that makes you smile sip after sip, that you know that when you just want good vibes, you're going to go to that whiskey? If so, leave it down in the comments. Let me know what it is, and let me know some of your experiences you've had with that particular bottle. So the overall aesthetic of these bottles is very clean, gives off modern, sleek, yet luxury vibes. Palette-wise, they each offer their own unique flavor profiles, especially the Decadence finished in maple barrels. I passed on the 10-year for at least 2 months after the friend of mine said he had tried it and really enjoyed it, mainly because of the price. I had this enormous fear that I would pay $80 or whatever this bottle cost and just hate it. Not only have I found some that I would have never come across without purchasing them, but in addition to that, I do have some that are on my shelf that I don't like, but I also have friends that enjoy some of these bottles. So when they're here, if they enjoy one that I don't quite enjoy, it gives me another opportunity to see if it's opened up and revisit it and share great conversation with great folks. Decadence was a more recent purchase. I was able to pick this one up the same evening that I purchased the Booker Storyteller batch, and I've enjoyed both of these ever since. In the most recent drop, I did pass on a Widow Jane Lucky 13. Instead, my wife got me the Knob Creek 18-year for Christmas, so tomorrow I'll be opening that. Heck, I may even do a New Year's video where I will sample that. Let me know in the comments if I should have went with the Widow Jane Lucky 13 as opposed to the Knob Creek 18. Simple agenda is going to stay the same. We're going to nose, sip, break down. Once that's done, I'll provide a simple listing and then determine which list they make, naughty or nice. Let's get to sipping. Widow Jane 10-year. So out the gate, nothing overpowering in terms of ethanol, but I do get some sort of like baking spice, nutmeg, a little bit of cinnamon. As for Mr. Decadence, oh, so sweet. This gives me like the syrupy mix they put together for wet nuts. And it has such a smooth, like oaky note. Like I said, it's very like sweet oak. That's a good nose. Let's try the Widow Jane 10-year. This takes me to my original rye notes, where it gave me more of a like cinnamony, rye bread, cinnamony spice, as opposed to a spearmint like I've been getting a lot more lately. As for Widow Jane Decadence, this never ceases to amaze me. The sweetness. When you read a bottle that says it's finished in maple barrels, you automatically think it's going to be over the top sweet. This has such a savory, like brown sugar, just super complex, leaves you with the desire to keep going back for sip after sip. I can't even explain in words. I do have a word. I think it's decadence. The name is aptly fitting for this one. Every time I have a sip of this, it's tough not to say, all right, just pour me 4 ounces and I'll make do for the rest of the night. But I don't have a backup bottle for this one. And again, I didn't see Decadence at any of the stores I went to at my last drop, but I did see the Lucky 13. But I know that the Lucky 13 isn't finished in these same maple barrels, so it was a very tough choice to go with a Knob Creek 18 over a Lucky 13, but we'll see. Widow Jane 10-year, MSRP on this one $70. Secondary pricing $90. Proof 91 proof. Distillery Widow Jane. Simple listing. Nice list all day for me. Again, I was hesitant when I first had it, but the more and more I've had it, the more and more my palate has evolved. This one is well worth the $70 to $90 you may spend for it. As this one continues to get sipped on, I'll definitely be backing this one up. Widow Jane Decadence. MSRP on this one, $80. Secondary, a little bit higher because it is harder to find, $145. Proof, also 91 proof. Distillery, Widow Jane. Simple list, naughty. Kidding. After all the praise I gave, I didn't really have to do this part. Decadence is one that I will sing its high praises to anybody who will listen. I know I was talking about it in line to a couple of the folks at the drop the other day. This is just a unique sipper with a lot of different offerings because it's just not like anything else that I've had. And again, when I get finished whiskeys, I automatically assume flavored whiskeys. So this one caught me off guard with just how good it was, considering it is finished in maple barrels. Something about these that never ceases to amaze me. This was a really good tasting. As I mentioned earlier, don't forget to leave your comments below with if you've had the Lucky 13 and if you liked it or if you didn't like it. Also, if you enjoyed this content today, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on your notification bells to stay up to date on all things Cynple Whiskey. So tomorrow is Christmas Day, and I'll be bringing out a few new bottles that will hopefully be near and dear to my heart. Recently picked up from a drop. Of all days of the year, this is one of the more special days to bring out the big guns and show some thankfulness and gratefulness and just be humble and show and spread love, cheer, and joy to everybody around. With the holiday shopping behind me, grateful kids waking up in the morning, getting gifts, and a strong, beautiful woman by my side, I could not be more grateful nor thankful. Looking forward to sharing more holiday spirit tomorrow. Keep it simple and cheers.